Okay. So the lesson.
Pull up the slides too.
Okay. What's like your lesson title, or like?
A lesson title is
Or like what
Dressing for Success.
Okay. So it's gonna go into like interview.
Yes, interview prep.
Okay.
That's their final exam. Is a mock interview. So I'm giving them the tools that they need to be successful for that.
So everything like this week and next week will lead up to like
Everything until their final exam, which are the 6th and the 8th. So everything leading up to the interview the whole purpose is preparing for an interview and being successful at an interview and getting hired.
Especially just going into senior year. Okay.
Well, the thing is like I have juniors going into their senior year, and then I also have 10th graders who are just about to be the age or are just now the age to actually get a job.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so tomorrow's just dressing for success specifically.
Yes,
so what will that look like?
So they're gonna have tomorrow's gonna be the actual lesson. So learning what professional dress looks like, what are some do's and don'ts for professional dress, you know, understanding that there's a difference between dressing up and dressing professionally. And then the day after will be actual application of the lesson. So they'll get application during this lesson, but like actually more hands-on application.
Okay. And so like for tomorrow, what do you expect them to specifically like take away at the end of the class period?
The takeaway that I want them to have is I want them to be able to tell me what is and isn't professional.
Okay.
But also
being able to compare.
Being able to compare, yes, but also to be able to be like, when I'm putting clothes on in my closet and I'm building an outfit for my interview, is this going to relay that I am confident, that I am somebody who's good enough for the job?
Okay. So isn't professional.
Because I feel like kids know how to dress up, but they don't know how to dress professional.
Yeah, like the business.
And that when you dress business,
being conservative.
Exactly. I've said
being classy.
Conservative and classy, but also like modest.
Yeah.
You know, understanding when you sit in a skirt or a dress, like you don't just plop on a chair. Like there's an etiquette to it. Or like teaching my boys, like I know for a fact some of them don't understand how to wear a suit properly. Like it needs to fit a certain way. You're supposed to wear long socks with your shoes need to be polished, that type of deal.
So for both boys and girls, like the right and wrong way. Will like your content have like examples of like good and bad?
Yes.
Okay.
So
they know like what is appropriate, and then they can see like, okay, this is not appropriate.
So what it is I have a presentation. We'll go through all of the do's and don'ts and the, you know, what to wear, what not to wear, how to wear it, you know, what are like some grooming tips and things like that. And then at the end of the slide, I have like 7 different examples of good and bad for both boys and girls.
Okay. So in the or like while you're doing the presentation, I'm assuming it's like a slide.
Yes.
Okay.
I have slides.
Will they be like note taking or?
So they'll have a KWL chart.
Okay.
So obviously on their learned
will be what
section is where they can note take, and then I'll have them do a summary at the end.
Okay. Summary.
Like, what did you learn and how are you going to apply this?
Okay. Perfect. So back to like what you want them to like accomplish. If writing that like as objectives for the day, like what will those look like?
What do you mean?
Like a learning target.
Oh, so their learning target for the day is that students will prepare for a job interview by understanding the importance of professional dress and the do's and don'ts of dressing for an interview.
Okay. Prepare for a job interview. So that, okay, so the preparing is like the really high order because it's just a step in their preparation, but
yes,
that'll lead up to like each day will lead up to the preparation of it. So
yes, so their overall like purpose is to develop skills to locate, evaluate, and interpret career information while demonstrating employability skills.
Employability. So that's like kind of the standard is the employability skills aspect of it for Avid.
And one of those employability skills is being able to go to an interview and get a job.
And then read your second learning target again.
So that's their purpose. Their learning target is to prepare for a job interview by understanding the importance of professional dress. And and the do's and don'ts of dressing for an interview.
I definitely think for the do's and don'ts, like additional, like just because that's such a big learning target, you could even like break it down. Like one is the preparation, and then the second one, like specifically for that day, could be like comparing.
I guess you would say like the lesson would be the do's and don'ts, and the preparation would be the next day when we're doing the application, where they're actually building a professional wardrobe.
Okay, so that's the second day. So they'll go over like items they have in their closet that they could wear to an interview.
Yes, or they can, if they don't have items in their closet, they can go online and look for options that they can afford and start building a wardrobe like for the whole week.
Okay. And for this KWL, like I'm assuming this will be part of like your assessment of their understanding as well.
So at the beginning, before they even get started, they'll do their K and their W. Like, what do they already know about professional dress? What are they expecting to learn?
Okay.
And then at the end of class, we'll look and see what they've actually learned by assessing their L.
Okay. And are you gonna do any like calling on them, or are you gonna make them turn it in?
Yeah, so they'll turn in the KWL chart, but also while they're going through the do's and the don'ts, those examples, I'm gonna have them do like thumbs up, thumbs down, like looking at this, thumbs up if you think you could get hired wearing this, thumbs down if you think that this is not a good idea to wear to an interview, and then we'll stop if they think it's not. We'll stop and have them tell me, not me tell them, but them tell me like, okay, what's wrong with this? You know, like for instance, I have a woman, she's in a blazer and she has like a button up underneath it. Well, the button up is a little low cut. So I expect them to be able to tell me like, this is good, but her blouse is too revealing. She needs to either button it up or like pin it or change the shirt entirely is what I expect them to be able to tell me.
Okay. I like the KWL too because it breaks it down like in order of like what they should maybe already know.
Yeah, exactly.
So going into this, like what do you think like the average like 10th and 11th grader like should know about job interviews and professional dress?
I feel like for my kids, like a lot of them have like gone to church before. So I know going into this that they should have an idea at least how to dress nicely. And I know a few of them actually have jobs, so they know about wearing uniforms and how you have to wear your uniform, and because they work at like McDonald's or Burger King. So like I have an idea that they'll have some idea of how to dress up and dress nicely. I just think that there's a few things like boys need to wear undershirts underneath their button-ups, and like making sure that your tie and your belt and everything coordinates, and understanding you don't wear like really big jewelry or gaudy jewelry. You know, boys need to make sure that their hairs are nice, kind of deal. Okay. So I feel like based off of my kids, they know like the basics. I just feel like those smaller etiquette details, like how to like when you sit with a skirt, you kind of like
tomorrow. And then so I know we have Dress for Success going, and then our overall goal we said was just general employability skills. Like that's kind of our standard here. After Dressing for Success, what are some other like concepts and content you want to cover?
We're also simultaneously working in a workbook. We're going through a chapter that goes through like the labor market, understanding the labor market.
Trends and
trends and what's there, and then also the chapter also goes through how to earn income. So we're going into like these next couple of pages, we're going into where they're going to learn about hard and soft skills and how to build a resume. So that's the next step.
Okay, that's kind of what I was wondering if this was going to lead into.
Yes.
Like, So I know they're going to do an interview, but are they going to?
They're going to have to have a resume.
Okay.
They're going to have to dress
There
up.
we
They're also going to go through interview questions, understanding how to answer those properly, and not just giving very short answers. You know, I want them to go into the interview being confident, knowing, you know, what are some of the questions that they could be asked, how to display properly, like sit in a chair, like they're not going to sit there and slouch, and they're going to smile, and, you know, just give off an air of confidence. And the more they have at their, like, their hands, then I feel like they'll be more confident. So I want them to have a good resume. I want them to know how to dress. I want them to know, you know, what questions could be asked during an interview and how to answer those prompts, how to shake somebody's hand and greet them properly, like, you know, the eye contact, because I have so many kids
just
that
general,
can't,
like people
skills, because I have so many kids, they can't even look me in the eye when I'm talking to them, and I'm like, I need you to look at me.
And that's,
like,
knowing these skills will set them apart from others when it comes time for a job interview. Cool.
Because I do have a lot of kids, like, we've done a lot of career exploration, and a lot of kids are, like, getting into, like, jobs that require them to have people skills. Like, some of them not so much.
They
So,
want
like,
those jobs, but they don't know what it takes to land those jobs.
so, like, I have a lot of
Agreed.
them wanting to get into the medical field, you know, or they want to own
The
their
good
own
bedside
business.
manner
Yeah,
and-
exactly. Or they want to own their own business and stuff like that. And I'm like, with the exception of a few of them that want to be morticians, I think everybody else
Goodness.
needs people skills. Like,
Yeah.
you know. So
I agree.
I think this would be just good for them all around.
Perfect.
So that's the overall goal.
I like that. And I think that kind of summarizes like the end goal and what you want to accomplish with them in the next couple weeks with
Yeah.
30 days left of
Yeah.
instruction.
And I
Testing
just-
twice this week.
I just hope that at the end of this, like, even if they think this is dumb, even if they think this is stupid, like, why do I need to dress professionally?
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna be a welder, I'm gonna be a mechanic, I'm gonna be a plumber, and I'm like,
Still have to wear a uniform.
you still have requirements, you still have to give off that
Still have
air
clients and-
that you know what you're doing.
Yep.
And a lot of what you wear, what you say, how you carry yourself gives off that impression.
Mhm.
And if you can't make a good first impression, then sometimes you don't even get an option to do a second impression. So you really need to make the first one count. So that's hopefully is what sticks with them even after they leave my classroom.
I like it.